So before I even start this video, I have to explain what a gap year is. Essentially, what a gap year is the break between high school and university. For some countries and education systems, that gap year is only like 3 months. But for where I am, for most of us, it's about 9 months because we finish school in November. And for most countries, the school year starts in September. So we have a break from literally November to September. So during their gap years, most people have the tendency to say, I just want to rest, I want to let loose, I want to like party, I want to do this. And it's justifiable. I'm not trying to bash anyone. I'm not trying to say the way that someone else spends their A break is wrong. Well, we call it A break. But I'm not trying to say the way someone spends their gap year is wrong. I'm just trying to give you advice as to what I think you should do. And talking further about the point of like just wanting to rest and to party, the reason why I say it's justifiable because you would have just spent the last 13 years of your life in the school system. You wouldn't have had much break. Each break that you would have had would just be like a month at a time and then 3 months of school, then a month at a time, then 3 months of school. So it's justifiable for someone to want to spend their A break, to spend their gap year just doing absolutely nothing, just partying, having fun. Like, it's totally justifiable. Ideally, right, the point of this video isn't to tell you what to do, it's just to help you get closer to your goals. So ideally, the best way to spend your gap year would be, I think the best way to spend your gap year would be to spend time thinking about what you want to do with your life. Because as I said, the past 13 years you've been swamped with homework, school things, so you haven't had time to think about what you actually want to do. So now that you have this 9 months where you're literally in control of your time, you have nothing to do and you get to choose what to do. The best scenario to come out of this would be that you come out of your gap year knowing exactly what you want to do, having some direction in your life, or at least knowing the next step that you want to take. How most people spend their gap years is they'll watch everything Netflix has to offer. They'll do every single instant gratification activity that there is out there. Like literally every single one. They'll spend their time doing things that don't matter a week after. This sounds like I'm bashing them, but it's the truth. If you spend your time going on TikTok, if you spend your time doing some random things, they don't matter a week after. Like, there's no rewards that you get a week after watching Netflix. There's no reward that you get a week after going to a party or something. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just trying to make you aware that there's no reward of those things. And with this point of like just doing things that don't matter, what I'll suggest is you start doing the good habits. You don't have to have a plan of like, I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm going to become this and that. But just start doing the good habits. Habits that you know are good. Habits like going to the gym, reading. Because I promise you, just taking the first step will allow you to take another step and then another step. Then before you know it, you would have done much more than you thought you could have done on your A break. With this thing about instant gratification, parties, Netflix and whatnot, luckily I've never liked parties. I've never liked being in large groups like where there are like hundreds of people. I've hated it. Well, hate is a strong word, but yeah, I have hated it. So I was never inclined to go out to those parties. So when people were going out to their parties, I would just spend time doing delayed gratification. I would spend time reading. I would spend time at the gym. Like literally, on Friday night, every Friday night, like clockwork, from 7 p.m. up until 9 p.m. I'm in the gym. And I'm not saying this to show off and to say, I'm better than everyone. I'm just trying to say, like, I just have different interests and I like different things. So what I would recommend on your gap year, I wouldn't recommend that you completely cut out instant gratification. I would just recommend that your education to entertainment ratio is like a more healthy thing. So what I mean is the amount of educational content you consume compared to the amount of entertaining content you consume. You'd like your educational content to be higher because it means that you're going to learn more. And if you learn more, it means you become a better person and you'll be able to like have better results in your life. So as I said before, the only things that I can truly recommend to you is you start reading and go to the gym. Because going to the gym will sort out your health, it will actually sort out your mental health as well. And reading will take you down wormholes that you thought you'd never go down. And it's the best thing ever because you start learning so much. And as you read more, it's like you can live through the life of the author. And through reading, you can actually find out what you want to do, or at least gain some sort of idea of what you think you want to do. The next thing that a lot of people do is that they immediately get a job. And it'll just be like some random job, like... Okay, the ones that I'm thinking about, they'll be working as like a junior master at a school. And fair enough, if that's your long-term plan and there's a long-term plan in that, then fair enough. or people get a job as a receptionist. I'm not saying don't get a job. I'm not saying in any way that don't get a job on your gap year. I'm just saying that make a wise decision as to which job you choose. You do not want a job where you just go to that job and you're just looking forward to the end of the day, because you likely won't learn much from that experience. I sacrificed having a job because I could have had many jobs. I actually had many offers. There were many times where people asked me to work for them, and I could have taken those jobs. But what I want you to understand is the reason why I chose not to take those jobs. The reason why I didn't take these jobs is because I thought to myself, if I take these jobs, I'll have about 8 hours less every single day. So in those 8 hours, I'm reducing my capability. I'm reducing my earning capability for the future. So my reasoning was, why would I sacrifice my earning capability or my earning potential in the future for my earning potential now? Because that $300 is not a lot. It's really not a lot. I know it's a lot in the grand scheme of Zim, but it's really not a lot. When there are people earning 50,000 a month, 100,000 a month, that 300, obviously it's a stepping stone, but it really isn't a lot. So if you're in your gap year right now and you're thinking about getting a job, or you already have a job, I want you to ask yourself, is your job in any way damaging your earning potential for the future? Is there any way you could spend your time better so that you would improve your earning potential in the future? Let's say you stop working, right? Granted, this will only work if you don't really need the money. Let's say you just want money as a luxury, so I can go out to my friends. I would recommend that you sacrifice that. I know it sounds terrible, that you sacrifice that. But through sacrificing that, you have more time on your hands to learn things. I'm going to talk from my experience so you can see what I'm saying. So this year I didn't get a job. I declined all offers to get a job. But with the extra time on my hands, I decided to be productive with that time. So I've learned how to copyright. I've learned how to do ads on Facebook and Google. And these are skills that are extremely valuable. TJ! And these are skills that are extremely valuable in our day and age. And you can easily scale them up to 100K per month. $100,000 per month. I'm not even joking. So to summarize, what I'm saying is, do not get a job for the sake of getting a job. Because if you get a job for the sake of getting a job, you will limit your earning potential in the future. Rather, sacrifice now and boost your earning potential in the future so that your future self will be more skilled. Your future self will have more money. Because I can guarantee you right now, that my future self, this sounds cocky, I can guarantee that my future self will have more money than most people, just because I've spent time learning these skills. So how exactly will you learn these skills? How exactly will you boost your earning potential in the future? How you do that is, again, through reading. I promise you, it sounds too simple to be true. But once you start reading, you start going down loopholes that you never thought you'd go through. You start finding selling books or sales books. You start finding books on copywriting. You start finding books on Google Ads. You start finding books on how to improve your mental health. All of these books, all of these self-help books, each book you read and each book that you can extract information that you can apply to your life will drastically increase your earning potential. It may not be direct. You may not be able to see exactly how it increases your earning potential, but I promise you it will do in the future. And the other reason why I suggest that you don't get a job during your gap year, unless you desperately need it, but if you don't, is because if you just get a job for the sake of getting a job, as I said, that's 8 hours of your day that's taken away from you. 8 hours of your day where you can't really think about what you want to do. You can't think about what type of man you want to become. You can't think about what you want to do in the future. When I talk to my friends, right, and I ask my friends, what goals do you have for the future? What goals do you have for your life? Fair enough, my friends may not be telling me all their goals, but I've noticed that every single one of my friends who did not have a job, their goals are well defined, their goals have deadlines, whereas other people's vague things like, I want to be a respectable man, I want to live with peace and stuff like that. Whereas my other friends who have definite goals, next year in June, I'm going to make 50,000 through this. So the best way to spend your gap year would be to spend your gap year failing. And why I say failing is because you need to learn. And when you learn and you try apply that information to your life, it won't stick first time. It won't stick immediately. You're going to fail. Try start businesses. Try start a YouTube channel. Start doing random things. Even this YouTube channel. Beginning of the year, I never thought I would do this. In fact, in March, I never thought I would start a YouTube channel. But then I started learning and I was growing more. I was finding out more about myself, what I want to do in the future. And here I am, starting a YouTube channel. In fact, I've started it. I have about 105 videos. If at the beginning of the year, you told me that at the end of the year, you're going to have about 120 videos. I'll have 120 by the end of the year. But if you told me that you're going to have 120 videos on YouTube, I would have said you're sick. I would have said that you're lying, that you're delusional, but look at where we are. And you can make the same progress in your area. You can make the same discoveries in which area you like, or the area that's best for you. But you won't be able to do this if you drown yourself in a job, if you're always indulging in instant gratification. Your gap year can either be the least profitable or the most profitable part of your life. I'm not saying that you're going to earn money or lose money, but I'm going to say you're going to find out things that will be extremely valuable for you in the future. So to end off this video, I want you to know that in life, you reap what you sow. And you'll always reap what you sow. It may not be in the area that you've sown, but I promise you always reap what you've sown. I know it's tempting to spend your gap year letting loose and to party every single day. I'm not saying don't party. I'm not saying don't do any of those things. I'm just saying that you reap what you sow. So you have so much time on your hands, so you might as well spend time sowing seeds where you're delaying gratification, seeds that will bring success in the future. Because that's all you want. Every human being wants to be successful. And success is different for every human being, but I know as a human being, you want to be successful. So spend your gap year sowing those seeds. Spend your gap year becoming a better man. Spend your gap year making progress. That's it for today. Cheers, gents.